the idea came to try and create a Saturday morning network, that was going to be the very first one created since the very early 50s.
All right, that is an excerpt from Batman the Animated Series, The Heart of Batman, almost said Heart of Darkness, Heart of Batman documentary live stream from Warner Brothers Entertainment, which they put online on June 16th, 2020, for free, which is great. You can watch it on YouTube. Link is in the description. Check it out. This is a wonderful documentary. It's an hour and 39 minutes long. It's a lot more information that I didn't know about. Batman the Animated Series, it was a big hit in the 90s. This is a review about this documentary. I would love to review the show. I love the show. If I reviewed the show, I would probably review each episode because I love it. I grew up on it. I've always been a fan. So this documentary talks about Warner Brothers and all the way up until Batman became a hit, and they gave a lot of neat insight on it. And from the studio's perspective, they wanted to do something new, and this documentary talks about how Steven Spielberg gets involved with Looney Tunes or Tiny Toons, and taking the idea of Looney Tunes and kind of doing an updated version. They also talk about how Spielberg was really into orchestras, live orchestras, so they got to use that for the Batman series. They really pushed for that. Also, Bruce Timm and a couple other guys that helped create the show became producers at a young age with not very much experience. They kind of took a risk on all these people for the Batman show, and it really paid off. This documentary talks about how they came up with the style, the art style of it, which I love, and it really goes well with the stories, which were written by some fantastic writers. They had to find some writers to say, hey, you can use weapons in this series. You can use explosions. You can use gunfire. A lot of that used to be banned from kind of the early days of cartoon, and this Batman animated series on Warner Brothers, they were able to take a subject like Batman and make a serious story out of it. And it's really, what's so great about this documentary is it shows that this show became great because of a series of events. You had Warner Brothers Animation that had really good leadership at the time. They were willing to do something new, willing to take some risks, and it's just so great to hear stories like this, especially when you're focusing on Hollywood, which for the most part is like very dark stories about how things don't get made, or how producers don't understand things, or how studios cut things up. This is just a very bright spot in the industry, and that's what I liked most about it. It really showed how creative people, if they really work hard at something, and the leadership behind them believes in them, then something really great can come out of that, and this show proves it. It's a legacy. It's almost as important as the original comic books, I would say, as an interpretation of Batman. And I was kind of struck by Bruce Timm and the writers and the all the producers, the voice casting, Shirley Walker, the music. What was so amazing about the people behind this show was they took Batman, the character, the idea, and they decided, hey, let's make a serious story. Let's make some serious stories out of this. Let's go for the film noir 1940s style, yet 1990s kind of a blend as well. And let's make some stories about people, and let's make the bad guys people too. And they really were able to kind of show like the emotional side of cartoons, and really good dramatic side, and they took it serious. And that's hard to find in cartoons nowadays. A lot of cartoons nowadays are really sarcastic, or just really zany, or just kind of throwaway kind of stuff. But I mean, hats off to just everyone involved in this show. They really did a good job at creating a cartoon that was like a film. It was like a movie. And this documentary just did a wonderful job of showing that. And it's so great to hear from the people behind the show, because I know for me, I loved the show growing up, and each episode was just a great story, and a very memorable one. And yeah, it's just a good job. And I think it's a good template too. Like, if anyone wants to create a cartoon show, I think learning from Batman the Animated Series, it's a marker of how things work well. And I think it just goes back to them taking it serious. Everyone wanting to do a good job, wanting kids to like it and grown-ups to like it, and it really did show. So check out this documentary. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to give it a 9.4 out of 10. I think it's important for anyone who's interested in working in animation and the industry, just the possibility of what could happen. And I hope to see more shows like this in the future. Who knows? But I do know this the animation, the show, Batman the Animated Series, just everything about it has been very inspiring to a lot of people.